Welcome back to Qtronics, and today, once again, we're continuing the run of tech that I'm fixing for family and friends that has been broken. And today we've got an iPhone 11 Max, 11 Pro Max I should say. This is my niece's, so it's not the same niece that broke the Fire tablet. It's my oldest niece, and as you can see, this phone is, I want to say destroyed, but look at that screen, man, it's an absolute bloody joke. I think they just throw these things at the floor. I have no idea what's going on. See, there you go. See, niece's phone, the screen there. I have no idea what's going on. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the screen off. I've never done this before, so we're going to use the heat pad, get the screen off, and see if I can get a new one back on. So I have bought some parts to help me with this. So I bought this kit off Amazon, and basically this is the sticky stuff that goes on the iPhone. If you've seen me do other things before, I try and cut my own sticky. But this is meant to be better. It did come with 2 battery things as well, so if you need to change your battery, it's a pretty good kit to be honest. Tweezers, spludger, opener, that's pretty cool. And then for the screen, I obviously went to AliExpress and got myself an iPhone 11 Pro Max screen. Now, these are supposed to be OLED. I don't know how good it'll be, but we'll see. And also, technically with the OLED screens, you are supposed to program the screen back to the phone. Else you do lose True Tone and potentially Face ID. Again, this is for my niece. She's young. She's not going to care about the True Tone. What she wants is a phone where she can actually see the screen. Again, and obviously this top bit here that's completely shattered. It doesn't even work by touch. So yeah, this bit here doesn't even work by touch. So I think she just wants a screen that'll work. So yeah, that's it. So basically, first things first, we're going to get the trusty heat pad out. I'm going to take this up to 70 degrees. And I'm going to put the phone face down on it this time. Now, normally, I would say put the phone on its back and avoid the camera. So, you kind of like have it on the edge like this. But seeing as the screen's so wrecked, I don't care if it breaks the screen at this point because I'm going to change it. So we're going to put it face down. I'm probably going to be at 70 degrees Celsius, about 5 minutes. So I'm going to get the heat pad on and then I will get back to you as soon as the screen's hot enough. Right, I'll catch you in a second. Right then guys, we're back. We've got a couple of minutes left on this now. It is starting to get quite warm though, so we're probably going to be alright in a second. So just while we're preparing that, I'm going to be following the iFixit guide because I've never done one of these before. So it's saying we need some tools and stuff, so we're going to need a pentalobe screw to get the screws out the front here. And then we're going to need some of these bad boys, so we'll go through it. What I might do while this is doing this, I might just get these 2 screws out the bottom for a second because this has got really hot now. So we need a little pentalobe screw. So I'm just going to find my little pentalobe. Now this is the smallest pentalobe screw if you've got an iFixit kit like I have, but obviously the key to this one is as well to keep track of all the screws because they're going to be really tiny. And we don't want to put a lot of pressure on things because iPhone screws are like cheese. I recently had to take apart Ben's, who's my editor's laptop, and that was a MacBook Pro. And I stripped 3 screws and I put no pressure on them at all. I had to Dremel them out, so it was a bit hit or miss on those. Right, we're coming down to that last minute now. So once that's done, we'll move the mat aside and we'll try and see if we can take some of this screen off. Now, yes, as you can see, the back's absolutely wrecked as well, but you can put a case on that and it doesn't really affect anything. And that's basically it. Right, the mat's done, so let's disconnect the mat. I'm going to move the mat over here because it is hot. And then let's get a cracker lacking. Now, apparently it's quite an involved process because I've got to take parts off the old screen to put on the new screen. So we're going to see how we go. So this should be quite hot now. Now, reading the guide, there's a cable here that we need to avoid. So we're going to try and pull it up and pry along the bottom and round. So let's go with that. And now, I don't know how well this is going to work because the screen's cracked. So we'll give it a go. I mean, it does seem to be separating, luckily. So hopefully, yeah, there we go. Now it's saying with a plec, you only want to go in a tiny little bit. So that's what we're going to try and do. So it's just a case of getting enough on that screen. Because the screen's cracked, I keep losing suction, which isn't helpful. Okay. Now, hopefully, if I just follow this round a little bit, we can break the glue. keeping the plaque nice and shallow. Yeah, the glue's breaking quite nicely, luckily enough. Luckily enough, the way these screens are designed, although the top part is broken, it's actually not shattering in my hand that much. I have accidentally now just turned it on though, which isn't great. I think. Oh, yeah, let me just turn this off. I guess that shows the screen still works at least. If it turns on. Yeah, right. Let's get this off. Right, there we go. It's because I lean on this button basically. So let's just keep. Okay, hopefully we should now be safe and I've not broken anything other than the screen. Yeah, there's those cables. Look, we don't want to rip them. Again, it's not so bad because if these cables rip, there is new cables on the new screen. And what I was talking about earlier on, you see this little chip here? This is the thing that needs reflashing. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take this screen off, but I'm going to keep the actual... I'm going to keep it because if I do get a programmer in the future, I will reprogram the screen. But the programmer can cost anywhere between 300 and 900 depending on which settings you want to get with it. So as you can imagine, it's something I'll probably pick up eventually, but I don't have one for now. Right then, next step is we need to disconnect the battery. So let's have a look what that says on the guide here. These heat pads, by the way, are fantastic. These just make this job so much easier. Alright, let's have a look. So we need a triple Y screw. Y screws in the iPhone is weird. I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you so you can hopefully get a nice view. I'll turn on the other light as well for us. Okay, hopefully that's a bit nicer now for you. So there's two tri-wing screws here, which I'm used to seeing on the Nintendo stuff really, and they are tiny as anything. Now again, I've got a little section to the right of me where I'm going to basically section off all of the tools so I can see what I'm putting down and stuff, because if you don't, you will lose everything. Let's try these free tweezers that came with it. Again, we're not soldering, so I can be a little bit experimental. Okay, and now this one here is the one we want to pry up. So again, they gave us a spludger, so let's use it. So I want to get under it a little bit, and these should just pop up hopefully. There we go. That's the battery disconnected now. And we just want to bend this away from the board a little bit. There we go. Okay, that looks good. Right, what's next? Okay, so we can put the tri-wing screw back now. Oh no, we need it still. I lied. Using the tri-wing again now, we need to undo these 6 screws here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I zoom in a little bit more for you. Right, let's get them done. Right, we should be able to lift this logic board cover off now, I believe. Is it stuck down a little bit? There we go. Okay, perfect. That's it. We can put that to one side. Right, and what's it saying next? Oh, disconnect these, the 3 cables holding this screen on basically. So let's go for that. So there's this one here. Again, we want to be very delicate with these because it's not so bad about breaking the wire. It's more about breaking the connector underneath it. So yeah, use plastic on them basically. I mean, if you've ever done an iPhone before and you're watching me, you're probably looking at me going, just get it up, man. Stop being so gentle with him, but I'm trying to not break my niece's phone if I can help it. Now this is the one ribbon you don't want to break, because we're going to need that, because that is your camera sensors. So let's be a bit more careful with this one. Okay, and then just a bit of glue holding it on here. Right, and that's the screen off now, which is nice and simple, and I can feel bits of glass everywhere. So that was nice. Right, we're gonna put the phone over there for a bit, and we'll come back to that in a bit. And I probably just touched the light, luckily enough, and not the camera. Bits of glass there. Right, so next step, let's have a look. We need to take off this. So there's one tri-wing screw and there's two Phillips screws. So these two here are the Phillips screws. And then this one here is the tri-wing screw. So let's get the tri-wing screw off first, because I've already got that on the... So this is saying this is slightly adhered, but because of the amount of heat I've put into it, we might get away with it. Yeah, it's all just come apart. Now, this bit here we're going to need to grab in a second, because this is the light here. Now, there's a bit of glass attached to that, annoyingly, so I'm going to see if I can pry that off. We'll have a look at that in a second. You can see how this has basically just been destroyed. So apparently, according to the guide, there is, here's a microphone here, and here's the rest of this, which is really weird. So normally this doesn't come off, but I think we're actually going to need this part anyway. So that's potentially convenient for us. Because if I show you the new screen, I don't actually have that part, look. So I think we need that part anyway. So it's convenient that that's come off. That's done with. I think we keep this, like I said, because it's got the parts in that's important. But let's see if we can clean this up a little bit. So I think this bit of glass here needs to do one. So I might just pick it off with my hands. Now I believe there's a sensor underneath here, so we've got to be a little bit careful. Right, I've got that back in now. Just about. So what I think I'm actually going to do is pop that out of there and get it to go back into here first. And then I should be able to just slot that back in like that. And then in theory, should that just stick down there? I think that's it. I think that just holds itself in place. This is screws, isn't they? So it should just work. Yeah, I think I think that's going to work. Once that's down in position and we screw it back in, we should be good. So, if I remember right, the two Phillips in the corners, and then the little one in the other side. So, in theory now, if I attach this back to the phone, I should be able to test if it's working. So let's have a crack at that. I think these clips at the top here are bent a little bit. Yeah, they have. So I'm going to bend them back so they're straight. Just these ones here, look, they've got a bit skew with, so that's fine. So if we just line this up for a second, using the original stuff that's there, and then go from there. Okay. These connectors went in a little bit easier than I thought they'd go. Yeah, they went in much easier than I thought they would. Let's get the battery one back in. Right, so in theory now, if I'm going to half hold it because I don't want to short anything out. But in theory now, if I try and turn it on, we should hopefully get some life. Or I've broke it, so. This light's now screwing up at the moment. I need it to turn on so I can turn it back off. That looks like it's working to me though. Yes. Yeah, perfect. Right, so if I go and try and turn this back off now. Right, let's take it apart, get the sticky on and get it back together, but that feels successful to me.
Wow.
You might want to bleep that out, Ben. I was told off by my mate for swearing on here, so I shall refrain from that in the future, guys. Now, just while I'm getting this back undone a little bit, I can't remember if I already mentioned this video, but I'm giving away a modded Switch OLED. So basically, I'm on the road to 2,000 subscribers. So if you enjoy my content, please like and subscribe. And at 2,000 subscribers, I will be doing a giveaway, and I'll give away a Nintendo Switch OLED modded. It's boxed and everything. It's in really good condition as well. So it's a good chance to win a modded console there. I know Nintendo Switches are cheap now, but modding them is still quite expensive because of just because the Nintendo Switch is cheap now, the amount of work that goes into them is still the same just because of Kamikaze modding it. So if you're interested, like and subscribe, because it helps me to grow. And also, let me know if there's anything else you want to see me go. I've done a few more repairs just lately, whereas I do like to do mods as well, but let me know things that you want to see. I have got the Easy Man's Dreamcast coming up soon. So basically, modding the Dreamcast, the only thing we're soldering on it, as a little spoiler, will be the new battery. Other than that, we're going to have a nice, clean, easy install. Right, let's put this screen over here to keep it safe, and then we can get on to this. Now, first things first, we need to get rid of all the sticky, so let's do that. You know what, guys? I'm going to get some IPA on it, clean it all up, and I'll get back to you in a minute. You don't need to see me taking sticky off, so I'll catch you in a second. In theory now, we can just get the sticky stuff down, and then look at getting the iPhone back into its, the iPhone screen back into its place. I'm happy with how this looks now, so let's go for it. So apparently, these weird little blue things that I bought, they should just line up perfectly in here. Now I just need to figure out which way they actually go. I think it's that way. No, that doesn't look right. Is it that way maybe? Yeah, that looks right, look. Yeah, that looks better. So, I think the way this works is... Okay, yeah. So we peel a corner off, and then we drop it into the shell by the looks of it. And then a bit like a screen protector, we kind of just squish it into the corners. Let's just hope we've got this right, else it's going to be a bit of a pain. Luckily enough, they did send two, so if I have messed it up completely and utterly, we might be able to get away with it. I think it just needs to come over ever so slightly. So I think theoretically now, that's down in all the corners and stuff. I think we can attach the screen and then pull bits off after. I'm just looking. Again, I will link this in the description, guys, where I found it and stuff. But so yeah, I'm gonna pull that side off first because that's the side, obviously. Yeah, that's quite good. Right then. So next we need to obviously get the screen reattached, and then we can go from there. So if we line it up, it does say to put something behind it when you put it back on. So let's do that. So let's get things lined up then. And I'm using my fingers because I can get a bit. I've got a feel. You can feel when they clip in with your fingers. You couldn't do it with tweezers, but just obviously try and line them up as best you can first, because they're quite sensitive little connectors. They are, annoyingly. Right, they all feel in. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get these 5 screws. Well, there should be 6 screws, but I'm not putting the one back in that threaded because that would just be silly, wouldn't it? If I do, I'll put it in lightly, and then we'll go from there. So this went in like this. So if we get this screwed back down, so I'm going to put the cross-threaded one, I reckon, in that bit there, because you should be able to spin it at least then, if we can't get it off in the future. So that should be fine. Just putting it in for the complicity's sake. Right, let's get the battery back connected. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw the battery one down as well while I'm here. So let's get the cover for that. There's no reason not to at this point now. We might as well just screw everything back in. Because as soon as our testing's done, we can put the screen back on. I do think it's quite an odd choice they've used tri-wing screws though. It almost does feel like they don't want you to be able to repair your own phones and stuff, as these screws are notorious for breaking. I mean, like even the ones in the Switch are slightly bigger and deeper than these, so it's weird that Apple have gone this route. Again, it's going to be about repairability, right? They don't want you to repair your own devices at the end of the day. Come on, phone. If we flick this up. Right, let's... Oh, that's good. That's good. So, rear camera's working, and then if we flip to the front... Yeah, the front camera's working as well. And then, I guess... That's everything we need to test. Oh, the front speaker. So I'm going to try and call myself, and then we'll see if that speaker's working. So bear with me a second. Yep, that speaker was working. Obviously I don't want to show my number on camera. Right then, so let's peel the rest of the sticky off and get it stuck back down. I'm going to turn the screen off though, because I don't need it dangling like that. Right, screen's going off. So right then, what we can do now is put that there, and all we need to do now is go around and just remove this last bit of sticky without pulling the whole thing up, if we can do it. I will say I really like how this has worked for these. I think it was about £6, so it'll probably be about the same amount in dollars, but I think it's well worth it for what it's doing here. Allowing us to get that nice seal on this. Right then, let's try and shut this screen in and down, and then let's see how this goes. So I think there's just clips all the way around basically. So you just got to try and get everything lined up into the clips. which is easier said than done by the looks of it. Might have to bend some of these clips a little bit. I mean, we're in this far now, so hopefully the clips start to go in, else I'm kind of screwed now because we've messed up the glue. That has not gone all the way in, unfortunately. I don't want to press too hard on the screen because I will break it. That's annoying. Right, I'm going to have to pop the screen off and I hope I can get it back in without messing everything up. That's... Again, I don't do iPhone screens every day, right? So it's never going to be perfect. But, you know, for free, I'm hoping it, you know, my niece is happy with it. And no doubt I expect her to break it again in a few months' time. The Kindle Fire tablet I did, as I've already mentioned, has already had the screen broken. So that lasted long. So, and this is what I meant about True Tone. I don't believe if we... Oh no, True Tone has turned on. That has surprised me. Oh, there you go then. Yeah, that's all working as far as I can tell now. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave some pressure on it overnight. And hopefully then there stops being as much sponginess in the screen. But I think that screen's in now. Again, I'm not sure if it should sit flush, more flush than it does. Let me know, guys, in the comments. But as far as I'm aware now, that should be flush. Right. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully you've learned something there as well as I have. And if you have, don't forget to like and subscribe, it really helps the channel to grow. And I'll catch you soon. See ya. So then, guys, next day, I just wanted to give you a bit of an update, because obviously at the end of the video you saw I was a bit unsure of how thick the screen looked on the iPhone. So I did some digging, and it turns out aftermarket screens do tend to be a little bit thicker than the original. So if you can see here, basically I thought the screen was sticking out a lot more than it should have, but I think it turns out it's normal because it's an aftermarket screen. It's possible that they list the screens as OLED, but actually they're just LCD screens. Either way, the screen works. It's secured down now, so I'm happy with that. Obviously I'll pass it on to my niece, but at the end of the day, it's an old phone now, and she'll probably break the screen again in a few months' time, because you know what kids are like. But if I have any issues, I will come back and I'll add it to the description, or I'll make a follow-up video. But the one thing I would have changed differently when I installed it is when I put the screen down, I already put the sticky stuff on, right? What I should have done was not put the sticky stuff on, lined it all up, and made sure the clips were all centered, pushed it down, gone, okay, now it's all centered, take it off again, put the sticky down, and then put it down. That would have made it better. But all in all, I'm happy. It all seems to be fine. And basically, I was just a bit worried that the screen was thicker. And it is, so I did measure it. And a normal iPhone 11 Pro Max should be 8.1 millimeters thick. This is now 9 millimeters thick. So it's nearly an extra millimeter, which isn't a lot. But obviously, you can imagine that makes a difference. So yeah, there we go, guys. Hopefully, you enjoyed the video and you got a bit of information out of it. You got to see me do something a little bit different. If you did, please like and subscribe, as it helps the channel to grow. And I will catch you shortly. See ya.